So tell me, have you ever thought that gaming just doesn't feel like it used to anymore? Almost as if you've played it all, seen it all, and you're kind of wondering, is the magic of gaming gone? Are video games getting worse? Or maybe we are just growing older? Well, I was stuck in a situation where I would pick up new games and never end up finishing them. I constantly wondered why this hobby of mine, which I loved so much, is not as much fun anymore. The situation was like this for me for quite a while. But then three games came along and pulled me back into the deep end of what makes gaming amazing. This video is about how three games made me fall back in love with gaming, and I am not exaggerating when I say this. My experience with these games were life-changing. Okay, so let me paint a picture for people who know nothing about Subnautica. The premise is very straightforward. You crash land on an alien planet, and instead of the usual barren wasteland or creepy forest, which you might be expecting, it is all ocean. Most gamers dread the water levels in pretty much every game, but then Subnautica comes along where literally the entire game is a water level. The second I jumped into the water for the first time in Subnautica, I felt this insane mix of wonder and something more which I was not expecting: fear. Subnautica isn't a horror game, but there is a constant theme in the game which plays with the notion of the fear of unknown. So it might as well be categorized as horror. Subnautica throws you into the deep end and it does not hold your hand. It wants you as a player to explore this ocean and unravel the secrets of this alien planet on your own. But it is not just the fear of the unknown that this game offers. It also offers us a mystery and a sense of wonder which you will find lacking in a lot of modern games these days. When we were younger and we picked up a game for the first time, the sense of wonder was always there because we were new to gaming and we never knew what to expect from the game that we picked up. Take Skyrim for example. Many gamers who love the Elder Scrolls started playing the series from either Skyrim or Oblivion, or maybe Morrowind if you are as old as me. But the thing is, Skyrim was the fifth game in a long list of games that belonged to the Elder Scrolls franchise. Even though Skyrim was the fifth game in the franchise, it still filled you with a sense of wonder because it was your first Elder Scrolls title. After playing many open world games for the past decade, we are at a point where we know exactly what to expect from these games. But Subnautica brings back that feeling of wonder and awe, like you're playing something new for the very first time. The feeling you get when you are exploring something new and every corner holds something that could blow your mind, Subnautica nails that feeling. While you're building, you're scavenging and playing this game, you are constantly thinking about what more secrets this game is hiding. The more you play of Subnautica, the further you go into the ocean and the crazier it gets. You are in this alien ocean, surrounded by things beyond your imagination, and there is nothing you can do but watch out for your oxygen level and swim back up to the surface to get a sense of safety on this otherwise unsafe alien world. We as humans are used to being in a position where we are the apex predators on the planet. So when Subnautica puts us on a planet where we are not at the top of the food chain, then it clicks something in our human brains. Maybe it is our survival instincts, but that is the beauty of it. Subnautica makes you feel small in the best way possible. As humans, it is in our DNA to be curious. Humans are built to explore the unknown. It is why we sail across oceans, why we climb mountains, and yeah, why we dive into alien oceans in games like Subnautica. This game taps into that curiosity in our DNA to discover, to push the boundaries of what we know, and it does it so well. Every time you dive deeper in the game, it's like you are feeding that hunger to see what's out there, to discover and see what no one else has seen. Subnautica is the game that made me fall back in love with gaming. It is a love letter to exploration, discovery, wonder, and yeah, maybe a little bit of horror too. But I would argue that those things are just the perfect recipe for an amazing game. After Subnautica completely blew my mind and made me realize that I should start stepping out of my comfort zone, I thought, why not try something totally different? This is when I decided to give Inscryption a try. Inscryption is a card game, and wait, if you're thinking about skipping this section of the video because card game, really? I understand where you're coming from, but give me a minute and just hear me out. One of the most important lessons that Subnautica taught me was that maybe I've been sleeping on some games because of their genre. When I hate water levels in most games, then it was unthinkable for me to imagine a situation where I would love a game that is 90% underwater. So I decided to give Inscryption a shot. On the surface, Inscryption looks like a card game designed by a guy who watches way too many horror movies. But once you start playing the game, you realize that this card game is just a clever ruse, and Inscryption is hiding a very big secret. In terms of depth, Inscryption goes deeper than the ocean that you explore in Subnautica. In the beginning of the game, you're trapped in this creepy cabin playing cards against a dude who I felt takes Dungeons and Dragons very seriously. But as you play the game further, you realize that Inscryption is not just a card game. No. It is like this insane blend of roguelike, puzzle solving, and straight up psychological horror. I don't even know how they managed to make a card game turn into psychological horror, but they did. Before playing Inscryption, I didn't even like card games. My resume of card games included just one entry, which was the side game called Gwent from The Witcher 3. The thing about Inscryption is that it constantly makes you question, am I playing this game, or is this game playing me? Every time I thought I had this game figured out, boom, it threw something completely new at me. You never feel comfortable while playing this game. The game constantly keeps the tension up, making you hooked on it the entire time. The game is not just limited to the cards. At some point in the game, you can get up and you can start messing around the cabin. There are puzzles to solve, secrets hidden in plain sight, and suddenly the game flips the script. 1 second, you are playing the cards. The next, you are unraveling some twisted, mind-bending story that makes you question reality. I went in to play this game expecting to hate it, but Inscryption won me over hard. It was like the game was trolling me, but in a way that kept me coming back for more. Look, I never thought I'd be the guy talking about how a card game made me question my life choices, but here we are. Inscryption made me realize that stepping outside your usual gaming bubble can lead to some of the most unexpected and awesome experiences. If Subnautica was the game that made me curious, Inscryption was the one that showed me it is worth diving into genres you wouldn't usually touch. And man, I am so glad I gave it a chance. In a nutshell, Outer Wilds is a space exploration game. It is actually kind of hilarious when I think about it, because I went from exploring the depths of the ocean in Subnautica to wandering through the creepy landscapes of Inscryption, and then finally blasting off into the great unknown of the universe in Outer Wilds. Without even planning it, I went on this crazy journey through water, land, and sky, checking off all the 3 realms. I realized this only recently, which also motivated me to make this video. It is like the games were challenging me to dive deeper, climb higher, and then finally to break free and explore the universe itself. But Outer Wilds is so much more than simply a space exploration game. Due to its game design, Outer Wilds has a problem. You can call it a curse, and that problem is that you can play Outer Wilds only once in your lifetime. So this game is quite literally a once-in-a-lifetime experience. When you have finished playing Outer Wilds and you try to replay it, the experience in the game is just not the same. The game is designed in such a way that hearing any spoilers will drastically affect your experience with the game. However, this curse of Outer Wilds might as well be a blessing in disguise, because the result of this sort of game design has given us a game which is one of its kind and a once-in-a-lifetime experience. After considering all these things, for the lack of a better word, it is safe to say that Outer Wilds is a masterpiece. Subnautica opened my eyes to the thrill of exploration, and Inscryption put me into a new gaming territory. Outer Wilds is the one that completely redefined what I thought was possible to achieve through video games. Outer Wilds feels like a true adventure because the game is not about leveling up or fighting bosses. It is about unraveling a cosmic mystery that is bigger than anything you've faced before. The The whole game's progression system is based on discovery. As you play the game, you learn more about the universe, and the more you learn about the universe, the more you realize how little you know about the universe. Right from the moment you first fly off your spaceship, you have the option to freely go on any planet that you want. There are no quest markers or messages telling you what your goal is. There is just you, your spaceship, and the loneliness of the universe. One of the most amazing things about Outer Wilds is how each planet you visit is totally unique. And that's not just in appearance, but in how it behaves. You could have a planet where gravity is doing something crazy, or another where you have to really pay attention to the environment around you if you don't want to fall into a black hole. Your every experience with the game and your every action has a reaction. With your every action, you learn a little more about your place in this universe, and it pushes you a little further towards your next step into completing this game. And by the time you finish the game, you'll not just be questioning your place in the game's universe, but also your place in the universe in real life. There is no other game which has managed to achieve this for me. Outer Wilds leaves you with this unforgettable feeling, like you have uncovered something profound, something bigger than yourself. It is a journey that will linger in your mind long after the credits roll, reminding you that the best discoveries aren't just about answers, they are about the endless wonder of the unknown. Alright, so let's bring it all together. Subnautica, Inscryption, and Outer Wilds didn't just get me back into gaming. They rekindled something I thought I had lost. These games brought me on a journey that reminded me of why we pick up that controller in the first place. Subnautica threw me into an alien ocean and reignited that spark of pure wonder, the kind you feel as a kid when you are discovering something completely new. Then Inscryption flipped the script, throwing me into a genre I'd never touched before, showing me that breaking out of your comfort zone can lead to mind-blowing experiences. And finally, Outer Wilds, well, it launched me into the stars and made me feel like I was part of something bigger. These games made me fall back in love with gaming because they each did something rare. They weren't about high scores or leveling up. They were about discovery, about challenging yourself to see what's out there, about facing the unknown. And if I can get this hyped over 3 games that I'd never even thought to try before, then maybe you can too. Go ahead, pick something new, dive deep, wander through the unknown, and who knows, you might just find yourself falling back in love with gaming all over again. I hope this video convinced you to go on this journey. Go play Subnautica, go try Inscryption, or strap in for the ride of your life with Outer Wilds. Trust me, it is worth every second. For me, this is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.